I'm Jen, this is Remembered Reads, and this is the Muppet Book Tag. I was tagged by Elizabeth of Lizzie Faye Loves Books, and I'll link her channel below. And this version of the Muppet Book Tag was created by Bridget of Bridget Reads, and I'll link that one below as well, because I think there are two Muppet tags out there. So this is the one that does not have Piggy and Kermit. Now let's get things started. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry. Question number 1 is the Swedish Chef. Kiesburg, bork, bork, bork. That was the worst Swedish Chef impression ever, so I apologize. The question for this one is a book that looked good but left a bad taste in your mouth. And my choice for this is going to be Ross Campbell's Water Baby. This is sold as a slice of life graphic novel about surfers. And I've actually seen this pop up on a lot of lists for people who are doing Diversathon reading. Primarily, I guess, because the main character is black and an amputee and people want to check boxes, but it's just not that good. You know, the art is fine, the story on paper is fine, but there's just something about the way it's written and the way it's drawn that makes it feel voyeuristic. So instead of being sort of a neutral observer, like a lot of slice of life books give you the feeling of, this gives you the feeling of being like a dirty old man hiding behind a peephole, which was strange. On paper, this sounded like it would be a lot of fun, but instead it just made me feel, I don't have a better word than icky, so I'm gonna go with icky. It just made me feel uncomfortable. Question number 2 is Fozzie Bear, a book that you couldn't help laugh at the jokes and sarcasm of. And for this, I actually don't know the name of the book. This is going to be a story. My sister reads a lot of really heavy, serious political analysis. And so back when I used to live in Toronto and when my sister was in med school and was, for those of you who are from Southern Ontario, she was at Queen's, so she had that drive. And she used to listen to a lot of audiobooks during that. And she'd come back to Toronto on the weekend and get in the car, and usually there's some serious, heavy political audiobook going on. But I don't know, one day, for whatever reason, she was not listening to a serious political audiobook. She was listening to one of Ellen DeGeneres' books, and the joke was not even a good joke. It was something about using a blow-up doll to ride in the HOV lane. But it was just so bizarre because I got into my sister's car and I was ready to listen to some depressing political commentary, and instead it was this random blow-up doll story that I just about fell over laughing. So I don't even know what book that was from, but yeah, I really laughed at that, as much because it was unexpected as because it was actually funny. Question number 3 is Dr. Bunsen Honeydew Beaker. Me, 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 me. Sorry, again, a bad impression. What book had you feeling at least a little bit smarter by the time you were done with it? For that, my pick has to be Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain, which I love so much that it has fallen apart. This is about both the brain and about being a practical guide to drawing. If you've ever tried to copy something by drawing it upside down, then that's the influence of this book. And I don't know, it's just fantastic. You read this, and I'm lazy about sketching. You know, it's one of those things where I would say I have a average amount of talent, where if you really tried, you could get better, but if you don't try, you're just gonna stay average. I've never been dedicated enough, but reading this book, you definitely can see how you could take that average amount of talent and grow it, which, as I said, I'm kind of too lazy to do, but reading this really makes you realize how you can think the right way to produce realistic drawing. And I think it's just fantastic. It's awesome. Question number 4 is Crazy Harry. Name a book where at least one of the characters drove you crazy. My answer is going to be the Grisha trilogy, which I know a lot of people on BookTube love. I should not have read this because I should have realized it was not my thing, but I did read it, and I hated both of the main characters. They drove me crazy. So, yeah. Question number 5 is Janice. You have to do the hair thing for Janice, right? Name an easy read that gave you good vibes or good feelings. And good feelings is always going to be Captain Britain at MI-13. I love this. I've said before, I like Paul Cornell as a writer most of the time. It's great. It's not as heavy as he had written the Pete Wisdom book, Rudiments of Wisdom, before that, and that was a bit heavier. There's Pete Wisdom on the back there. But yeah, I love this. Because I mean, Captain Britain is my, this is one of these ridiculous, he's my favorite Marvel hero. And yeah, and he does a great job with Pete Wisdom, who a lot of writers do a terrible job with. He gave us Faiza Hussein, who's the bearer of Excalibur now, who I like. He wrote a good Black Knight, Spitfire. Once you get to Volume 3, Union Jack and Blade are in it. Actually, it might be Volume 2. No, I think it's 3. Anyway, good feelings. I love this book. Best superhero book of the past 10 years. Number 6, Statler and Waldorf. A book series that you loved that was turned into a movie or TV show that was a total letdown. And that's gotta be Lucifer, because there's a TV series now, and it's nothing like the comics. Yes, Lucifer has a piano bar in LA, but that's about it. The TV show is basically a procedural cop drama, which is done in a super unrealistic way. There's sort of a B plot that's about the angels and everything, but not really. Because I really like Tom Ellis, who plays Lucifer, and D.B. Woodside, who plays Amenadiel, but it's just not good. It has elements where you think, maybe this is going to get better, and it just doesn't. Question number 7 is Walter. Tag some new people. So I'm going to do what I usually do, and the last group of people who commented on my last video, but who I did not tag the last time, I will tag below. And that's it. Thanks again to Elizabeth for tagging me, and see you next time. Ciao!